Konami Studios. Superman issue 29, Infinite Frontier returns. Bendis, that guy everyone loves, is no longer on Superman. We have a new creative team in general. Phil Kennedy Johnson's on it, writing. He did, like the War of the World Metropolis, or whatever the hell it was, Future State book. Yeah. So he's here. Long awaited? I don't know. I will say, I didn't hate the Bendis run as much as some people. I've recently catched up on most of it. I think it's good. It's not shit. It's not god-awful. It's not horrendous. It's just pretty standard Superman fare for a guy who's known for shaking up the status quo. I think people's biggest complaint is that John was aged up, but who really cares at this point? You can still tell good stories of the character being older. You're just pissy because you're not doing the Damian thing anymore. Well, wouldn't it make for a cooler story? It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter how old John Kent is because he's still the same character. So, I liked this book. I won't say I was blown away by it. I think what we needed going into this new Superman run was just some standard Superman fare that's going to make us excited and happy to get back into this world, which we got. Phil Hester's art, I think, is really well done. It has like a really sharp cleanness to it. It's very stylized, very like cartoon inspired, which I think works really well. It's got like an old school feel to it where it's like very simplistic and very jaded, but it also looks very like modern, which I think is something a lot of people can enjoy and take reference to. So I like that a lot. It was a really fun book. I'm gonna say right now though, I liked the backup like little story Tales of Metropolis a little bit more than the actual book. That's not saying anything bad about the actual book. I think it was good. So we open up this book. We are seeing John and Clark are fighting some weird alien creatures, not really knowing what they're doing. I like that the creatures are like just like purely green and like you're just contrasting that with like the red and the blue of space and the Supermen. I think it looks pretty good, but it's this idea that there's a golden age in the world where you see your father or your parent as this like infallible thing that can never break, as this immortal person who can't be wounded. And we're talking in that regard, and we're seeing like everyone fighting, and John's just watching his dad like, man, this guy's the best. Look at him fight and kick ass. There's like a breach, and like that's where the aliens are coming from. It's being monitored by Star Labs, and we're just seeing like, yeah, my dad's great. Nothing can stop him. He's like truly the best person in the world. He's the Superman. Nothing can stop him. And we see that Star Labs is communicating with Amanda Waller, and they're like, okay, well, the breach was good. It almost got to Superman and hit him in some way, so we should kind of watch out to see if it's going to like affect Superman, the things coming through this breach some more. It didn't affect the sun. It did hit Clark, though, so we got to make sure something's okay with there. And it's just kind of cool. We just see John's kind of isolated from the family. He's sitting away from those there in the house, and as there's stuff happening on the TV, Lois kind of sees him, and she's like kind of like whispers to Clark, maybe you should talk to John about something to figure that out. I like that angle a lot. We saw it in Future State, where John has been dealing with this idea that he is supposed to become Superman, where he is told by the world and everyone that he is going to follow in his father's footsteps, but he'll never truly be Superman because of his human half, and I think that's a pretty cool area to explore. So the breach in space opens up again, the green creatures come through, and this time the heroes are on their way, they're fighting everything, and it's the same narration where it's like, sometimes you realize as you like get older or you mature that your dad or your parent figure isn't infallible, but they are vulnerable. They are mortal. They're mortal people. We see that Clark takes a laser for John. It affects him a bit, and he's like losing some of his power, and he's trying to fight through, but he's getting a scratch on him. He starts to bleed, and John's kind of freaking out like, Dad, this is not good. Maybe we should just close the breach up for now and see what happens. But even Waller's just still kind of investigating stuff. We weren't like, there's no harm yet. We should see what happens next, though. So Clark and John are just kind of flying around. They're not going home yet. And you see Clark's just like longing for those old days. He tosses a pine cone to John. He's like, come on, you remember Cone Ball or whatever it was called? You want to play? He's like, Dad, I haven't played this in a long time. Like, I don't think you realize how long it's been for me. And Clark's like, oh yeah, of course, I get it. I was like, you probably didn't have time to play it when you're in the future. And again, it's like referencing everything that came before it. Like the thing nobody likes where John got aged up, but it happened. Let's deal with it. And I think it's pretty cool that, we're doing this story. I like it a lot. So this idea comes into play here. Jonathan Kent is like, Dad, I've heard so many stories about you, and everything that I've saw, I just like watch you and listen to everything you do. I just think you're amazing. Like, but everyone's telling me like, when am I going to be Superman? How am I going to be Superman? And I don't like when people say that because I'm not Superman. You can't be replaced. I can't replace you. I'm never going to be ready. And you're just like, you're not. I know, son. Like, I'm not asking you to be ready. And it's like, I know, Dad, but you don't understand. You can't fight those creatures the next time that breach opens. And we see some stuff with Kal-Ex, and like the breach is about to open again, and we realize that what Jonathan Kent is referring to is that he saw what happened in the future, the events that are taking place in the current story timeline. Everything we are seeing that's unfolding, these are the events that happen that lead to Clark Kent's death. This is where Superman dies. And he's literally crying, and he's just like, Dad, I'm not going to let you die. I don't want you to die. I'm not ready for that. The world's not ready for that. We can't have you die, Dad. I don't want you to get hurt. Which is pretty cool because he knows his dad is vulnerable now, and he's going to get hurt. And it's like, damn, that's pretty cool to see. But the breach is opening up, and of course Superman's got to go to do the right thing. He's the hero, and even John's like, we can't do this, and something bad's going to happen. But like a big green creature bursts from it, and looks like that's what we're going to be attacking. And I really think this was fun. It's setting up exactly what we need it to. Here's our story. Is Superman going to die? Is this the day that Superman dies? Is Jonathan going to step up and take his place? It's just really fun. The artwork, again, has a very distinctive look that is going to either draw some people in or draw them away. I think it works really well for a Superman book. If it was any other character, I don't know if I would like it as much, but I like that classic old-timey feel when it comes to my Superman art. And I think that looks really good here. Very strong book. Very impressed to see where this story is going to go. I think it continues in Action Comics 1029. I can't remember, but that's great. But only to be slightly topped by the Tales of Metropolis, with Bibbo Babowski. And I love this so much. So the idea is that Bibbo is now a writer. He is going to like a movie premiere. He's with a hot date, Dolores, and like he's just like, how did I ever get a girl like this? How am I doing this? And we see that Dolores is working with like this thing called Deadstream. It's like a creature or like a monster or just like a metahuman, and they're trying to like take over Metropolis through like the everyday people. And you see as Bibbo's like Bibbo's unaware of this, but we see like this really douchey guy come. He's like, hey, it's a hot piece of ass on your arm there, Bibbo. Wouldn't mind if I take her from you. And he's like, don't even start with me. I'll kick your ass. And Dolores is like, don't give him any acknowledgement. Let's just go in. So they're in the movie. The douchebag is throwing popcorn at Bibbo, and he's getting really frustrated. He's talking to the usher like, dude, you got to get that guy out of here. And he's like, I'm not a security guard, dude. I can't take that guy down. But the douchebag, she's like, hey, Blondie, you want to go have a private intermission? And Bibbo just loses his mind. He goes to attack him, and we see that the guy is like Deadstream. And it's like, oh, that's a creepy looking creature, and it looks really good. Starts fighting him. Jimmy comes up and he's like trying to talk to Dolores, like, I think you should leave there, lady. And she turns into vapor. He's like, oh shit. And it's like, oh, somebody is playing Bibbo Babowski. What are they doing to him? Who really knows? But they're trying to get to Superman through Bibbo. And Bibbo goes into writing his first article, and he's like, I'm taking them down. Everything's going crazy. The Metropolis has stuff happening. Superman can't be there for all of it, so Bibbo's here to do it too. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. I love Bibbo. I'm so happy when he appears. He's just so fun. What a great way to top off this book. It made me really happy. It's just great seeing some classic Superman characters and a classic Superman story taking place. If this story, issue 29, it feels very classic, well, very modern at the same time, and I think the art style has a lot to do with that. I think it's very clear that Philip Kennedy Johnson definitely understands the character of Superman and is going to be doing a lot of cool stuff with it, so I'm very excited to see what comes next from this book. So, Superman issue 29, I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.